the few minutes that have been afforded to me, allow me to speak from my heart. I just sat there and I'm a man who hears things clearly. So please allow me just to put off my notes and just speak. Disruption is a radical change, is a disturbance to something that is existing, isn't it? But many people, ladies and gentlemen, are caught off guard because they don't know how to react to disruption. And that is when Christians blame the devil. Other people blame their bosses when they have lost their jobs. Blame some witch doctor in their family. That auntie who looks at you with one eye. Yet the problem is not them, but us. Are we together? Because there are many people who have succeeded. Let me tell you something. There is somebody here who has the potential of being a president and another person the potential of being a prisoner, yet you're in the same meeting. It matters what you do with the information. Personally, I intend one day to be president. Can you clap for me if you are not jealous? And I don't mean the president of our WhatsApp group, by the way. So every day, let me give you a secret. Every day in the morning, I even did it this morning in the hotel, I take my Bible and I lift it and I take the oath of office. I have done that for 8 years, twice a day. So when it happens, I will invite all of you. When I'm taking the sword, isn't it? You'll be chief guests. So how then do we react, prepare, navigate disruption? Number one is that you must be flexible. If you're not flexible, you'll be like a black man in a dark room winking at a black woman and expecting a reaction. You must be ready for anything. Oh, I almost said praise the name of the living God. You know I'm still a pastor. So when that comes out once in a while, just have mercy on me. Praise the name of the living God. So you must be... Who is my timer? Because I want to keep time so that you invite me next time. Okay. But just, give or take, add me 5 minutes, okay? Over and above my time. Is that okay? Hallelujah. Oh, Jesus. At this rate, I might take an offering after this. So we must be ready. And allow me, ladies and gentlemen, to fuse in a personal story. I have gone through disruptions in my life. And at some point, I almost drowned. And because of my experience, I like giving life. The first time I faced a disruption, I went into suicidal thoughts. What I tried to do, I've tried committing suicide 3 times, I was telling our convener. And it was because I faced a disruption, but I didn't know how to react with it. So the first thing that came into my mind is run away. How do I run away? By getting out of this world. My first disruption when I lost my father. He was my hero. He was my everything. And I wasn't ready to take the mantle of leadership in our family. And I said, you know what? Since I wasn't ready, I might as well follow the man who was handing over the mantle of leadership to me. You understand what I'm saying? Number 2, when I faced another level of disruption is when I felt because of my addictions, I could not handle life. Well, this man standing in front of you, can I speak it as I feel it? All right. This man standing in front of you was addicted to sex for 15 years, addicted to pornography for 7 years, addicted to strip clubs for another 7 years. I didn't know what to do. And when everything came to a head, again, I wanted to run into suicide. Number 3, my life was again affected when things hit the fan. I became broke. I could not afford 3 meals a day. And by the way, I even ate Colgate for dinner. Colgate. Do you have Colgate in Nigeria? A toothpaste, right? I wasn't having it for hygiene purposes. I was having it for dinner. And I felt life has hit me hard. And that's the 3rd time I tried committing suicide. I faced another disruption. I had an amazingly big wedding. Even the serviettes had my name. You eat and you wipe your mouth, you wipe my name. 1 year, 2 days later, my marriage ended. I am a public figure, big TV show, speaking life, preaching the gospel of Jesus Christ, and I failed. That is when I went into this depression. And one morning I looked at myself in the mirror and I said, you know what? It didn't kill me, then I have a message. And there are many of you listening to us today, and you are at that place where you don't see light at the end of the tunnel. I think that is the biggest lie from the pits of hell. You are not supposed to look for light at the end of the tunnel. You are the light that will light up the tunnel. You understand what I'm saying? So then you get to a place, and I said, you know what? I got to face this head on. And I now started operating in a place of seeing, and I stopped looking. Many people look, and when you look, you see how huge the situation is. You see how huge Corona is. You see how huge all these obstacles are. And when you're in that place, it becomes even bigger than what it actually is. But when you start seeing, you become like Martin Luther King. I have been to the mountaintop and I have seen the promised land. And he said, I may not get there with you. It means if you're going to disruption, you have to see further than where you are. You know, we all know something called Zoom. We had a Zoom meeting yesterday. The gentleman who started Zoom did not start Zoom because of Corona. He was there way before, but he was in the realm of seeing. And Corona came to disrupt, but he told Corona, I was expecting you. And guess what? Corona made him so much money that at some point the value of Zoom was 7 times more than airlines. Then you got to be ready to disruption. You got to be brave. But the problem with my African people is that we only cry the government is not giving us jobs. And by the way, the government is not supposed to give you jobs. It's just supposed to create an environment to give you jobs, to get jobs. You understand what I'm saying? So the problem is that we cry, and we take in bad content. We gossip a lot. I mean, from Kenya, I've been seeing people fighting some actor here. I mean, he posts after 4 minutes, there's 1,000 comments. And I said, are we discussing people's marriages? Is that where we are as people? Then you got to rise above mediocrity and come to the mountaintop and tell disruption, I was expecting you. Are you ready to see yonder? Are you ready to say, you know what? I know it's tough, but I knew you were coming so that I was ready for you. Praise the name of the living God. Praise the name of the living God. You understand what I'm saying? And then, for you to be ready for it, you must have what we call the right identity. And especially Nigerians, you are known to be very bold. My cousin is married to a Nigerian. And they met in a line. They were waiting to make a phone call, in a public phone call. And my cousin left, and this Nigerian says, you will be my wife. Today, 4 children later. You got to have that boldness. We know Nigerians are bold. We know Nigerians are bold. Why don't you bring that swag? You understand what I'm saying? Why don't you bring that swag, that rambunctiousness, and say, you know what, I'm ready. I'm ready. In fact, you bring it on. Bring it on. I'm ready for you. Ready or not, here I. Today I was seeing a TikTok by a Nigerian in Kenya, and they were saying, we will not leave Kenya. In fact, the president is our in-law. You know the president's daughter is married to a Nigerian. And then he says, in fact, if you're not careful, we shall tell all you Kenyans to move to Uganda. Talk about disruptors. So do you understand what you carry within you? What do I carry as a person? I carry somebody who tasted death. I want to give life. So whatever comes my way, I got to survive. Because I have a message. Another thing you must understand is that time is ticking and talking. I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, without fear, that each and every one of you here is one day closer to your last. Do you know that? The day you were born, you are here. The day you die, you will be here. Well, I hope I am here. But there are people who are here. And as I've said that statement, somebody has just breathed their last. And as I've again said that, somebody else is about breathing their last. Somebody's planning for tomorrow, but they will not be here tomorrow. So you got to understand that whatever comes, you cannot sink. Because you are here for a purpose. Tell your neighbor, I'm here for a purpose. No, look at them eyeball to eyeball and tell them, I'm here for a purpose. No, say it with apostolic audacity. I'm here for a purpose. When disruption comes, you have to look for the higher purpose. Why has it come? And if you don't believe me, when you go to heaven, look for Mary. God disrupted her wedding plans and said, you are favored. You will give birth. In fact, the Bible says her husband was quietly planning to leave her. But it says, I don't understand. Be it to me according to your word. You got to understand every time a disruption comes, look for the higher purpose. Many people are like chickens. They run to hide. But you got to be an eagle. You look at it eyeball to eyeball and says, okay, fine, here I come. You know, an eagle is the only animal that looks at the sun eyeball to eyeball and says, I'm coming for you. It is the only animal that can look at a rabbit 3.8 kilometers away with absolute clarity. So when it comes now, look ahead. In fact, use the eagle mentality that uses the strong winds to lift itself for the higher level. Africa must stand up and think. We can't just be having dance challenges while Chinese kids at 15 are planning things for the future. Imagine a 15-year-old in China is planning to disrupt a 55-year-old in Africa. While we are doing what? Dancing. Having challenges. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? You got to be a knowledge seeker if you're going to disrupt disruption. The gentleman who started Zoom did not think of Corona. Thought ahead of how the world is going. And says, you know what? There are many international companies. Why don't I bring a meeting room without people getting visas to travel? It means they were thinking ahead of their time. If anybody is sitting here and you're the sound of my voice and it is January and you are not in June, your right leg is on a banana peel and your left leg is on a slippery floor. You got to think beyond your next match. I'm not hating because Kenya, we are not there yet. But if you're ready, if you're not in June, ladies and gentlemen, you're already failing. Praise the name of the living God. Praise the name of the living God. When our convener called me and we started chatting, I see the MC coming close to me, and we started chatting, she saw ahead. And she said and planted a seed in my heart. And that seed germinated. And the seed became a voice. And I told America, you can't disrupt my meeting in Nigeria. She actually disrupted my meeting in America. And that is why I am here. So her disruption made America pay for my flight to Nigeria. So you got to, and as I finish, you got to open your mouth. You got to open your mouth. I've opened my mouth and said, one day I'll be coming here as Your Excellency, Mr. Robert Burale Wanguria. And you better take a photo with me because you will need it. That you will tell them, I know the president. What do you mean? Well, he was here. You got to do what? Open your mouth. Don't speak in defeat. Speak greatness. How are you doing? I am highly favored. I am the first and the last. I'm not the last. I am an eagle. But Africans will say, how are you doing? That is how your life sounds. When you die, you sound. When the coffin closes, it sounds. We are going to tell disruption. We are ready for you. We have left the realm of looking. We are in the realm of seeing. That whatever pain, failure we have been through. By the way, the man you're looking at has failed so many times that failure ran away from me. But today, By God's grace, I have traveled the world over. You understand what I'm saying? That I remember I one time took business class. You know, there is economy, business, and there is first class. And the lady comes to me and says, MC, I kid you not, 2 minutes I'll be done. And she comes, hello, are you Mr. Burale? I said, yes. My name is so-and-so, we shall be taking care of you. And then she says, this is our menu. It's an a la carte, you can eat whatever time you want. And I said, okay, fine. It says, would you like the wine list? Well, I've never drunk in my life. But because I just felt the pain I've been through in my life, I said, yeah. Oh, yes, please. And she gave me the wine list, and I saw things I could not even pronounce. Sauvignon, Mohognon, and Ognognon, all those things. And she asked me, what would you like? And I thought of, you know the way you say egusi. There's egusi something here. So I said something like, do you have egusignon? And she says, oh no, we don't have it. Which one? Is it red? I said, it's sweet red. Then she says, when we have it, we shall let you know. Because I spoke where I wanted to be. And I sat in that plane 33,000 feet above sea level. And I was asleep. And you know, when you wake up, they say, sorry, you're asleep. You get to a point, ladies and gentlemen, they apologize to you for resting. You got to speak where you want to be. Anybody under the sound of my voice must tell disruption, wherever you come, I will be ready. I will not sink. I will stand up, soar like an eagle, and get to the next level. And I'm telling you, if this was a dance concert, this place would have been full. But knowledge, people are too busy making nonsense out there. But I want to tell you, go to the highways and the byways. Do what we call network marketing. Speak to your families. Tell them, if you are not ready to disrupt disruption, you will be disrupted. You will be like a chicken. And your name will be forgotten the day you die. But I declare everybody under the sound of my voice that when the time comes and you breathe your last, the voice of purpose will speak beyond your time on earth. Because none of you, and absolutely none of you, will be disrupted by disruption. May the Lord bless you.